Good morning, students. In previous class, we study about energy band theorem. What is energy band theorem? So, energy band theorem. What is the energy band theorem? So, in a matter, the energy of the matter is divided in small parts. The smallest parts of the energy of the matter is called band, and this is called energy band theorem. After that, we study about conductance band and valence band. In a atom, the electrons are moved in a circular path around the nuclei. This is nuclei, and here this is the circular path orbit in which the electrons are motioned. This is the first orbit. Here this is electron, here also the electron, here also the electron. This electron, the force between nuclei and this electron is very strong. The force between this electron and nuclei is strong, and same as the force between last orbit of the atom and the nuclei is very small or very low. So the electrons of last orbit are free electrons, and due to the free electrons of the atom, the valency of the atom is decided. So this orbit is called valency orbit. And the electrons of valency orbit is called valency electrons, and the orbit at which the free electrons are available, or in the orbit at which valency electrons are available, this orbit is called valency orbit, and the energy of the valency orbit is called valence band. The energy of the valency orbit is called valence band, and there is a blank space between. Let us consider here we have valence band. There is a blank space near the valence band, and opposite the blank space or over the blank space another band is available, that is conductance band. The distance between conductance band and valence band is called energy gap. Energy gap, that is represented by delta Eg. These all we studied in our previous class. After that, we study about metal or conductor and insulator and semiconductor. Explanation, we studied the explanation of conductors, insulators and semiconductors with the help of energy band theorem. If the gap between valence band and conductance band is small, then the electrons of valence band easily move into conductance band. Then the matter is called conductor. If the energy gap between valence band and conductance band is large, then the free electrons of valence band cannot easily move to the conductance band. Then the matter is called insulator. And the third is semiconductor. What is semiconductor? So semiconductors is a matter or is semiconductor is a matter that is behave like a insulator at 0 degree Kelvin, and that is behave like a conductor at room temperature. A object that is behave like insulator at 0 degree temperature and a object behave like conductor at room temperature, then it is called semiconductor. It is called semiconductor. Semiconductors are two types that are as below. So there are two types of semiconductor. Semiconductor. The first is intrinsic semiconductor. And the second is extrinsic semiconductor. There are two types of semiconductors, that are intrinsic semiconductors or pure semiconductors. That semiconductors are pure. And second is extrinsic or impure semiconductors. At first we study about intrinsic semiconductors. Intrinsic semiconductors. So a semiconductor that have a pure that have pure is called intrinsic semiconductor. Means a semiconductor that we got directly to the nature, or a semiconductor that is available in the nature in pure condition, that is called intrinsic semiconductor. The examples of intrinsic semiconductors are germanium, silicon, etc. This is the examples of intrinsic semiconductor that are available in a pure condition at the nature or in the nature, that are called intrinsic semiconductors. The conductivity of intrinsic semiconductor are low. These type semiconductors are available in the pure condition in the nature, and the conductivity of this type semiconductors are very low. And the second type is extrinsic semiconductor conductor. If we doped the semiconductors in a impure, or if we add in germanium and silicon, a other matter, to improve the conductivity of semiconductors, because the conductivity of intrinsic semiconductors are low. So to increase the conductivity of semiconductors, we add impurity in the semiconductors, and the semiconductors that have impurity is called extrinsic semiconductor. The impurity is added in the semiconductor to increase the conductivity of the semiconductor. And if we add impurity in the semiconductor, then it is called extrinsic semiconductor. There are two types of extrinsic semiconductors, that are p-type semiconductors, and the second is n-type semiconductor. The first is p-type semiconductor and the second is n-type semiconductor. These both are extrinsic semiconductors or impure semiconductors. These are called impure semiconductors because a impurity is added in this type semiconductor, so it is called impure semiconductors. We have two types of extrinsic semiconductors, that are p-type semiconductors and n-type semiconductors. We study p-type semiconductor. What is p-type semiconductor? The first is p-type semiconductor. What is p-type semiconductors? If we add trivalent impurities or trivalent impurities in intrinsic semiconductors, adding trivalent impurities in intrinsic semiconductors, then it is called p-type semiconductors. If we added a trivalent impurities in a intrinsic or pure semiconductors, then it is called p-type semiconductors. Trivalent impurities means a atom that have the valency of 3. If a atom have 3 valencies, then it is called trivalent. Or here, if we add a trivalent impurities in a intrinsic semiconductor or pure semiconductor, then it convert into p-type semiconductor, like aluminium, boron, etc. That is the examples of atoms that have trivalent or that have the valency of 3. So here let us consider we have a aluminium atom that have trivalent. So here a germanium atom is connected with the aluminium atom. This is the electron of aluminium and this is the electron of germanium. The one electron of aluminium and one electron of germanium are are connected to each other and form a bond. Here, another germanium atom is connected with aluminium. Here, another germanium atom is connected with aluminium. So here also another aluminium is connected with, here another aluminium is connected, here another aluminium is connected. A aluminium have 3 electrons in its valence orbit. So this is the first electron, this is the second electron, and this is the third electron. Both electrons are connected with the germanium atom. Here a germanium atom is also connected to the aluminium. This is the electrons of germanium, and the aluminium have 3 valence electrons or free electrons that are connected with 3 germanium atoms. So here the aluminium have not a free electron that is connected with germanium. So here a hole is made, that is hole. The charge of hole is positive charge of hole. So here the aluminium required a electron to complete the bond. So this type of impurity is want a electron. So here the static negative charge occur due to the shortage of one electron. Here it is necessary to want a free electron to complete the bond. So here the absence of one electron or the shortage of one electron, the static negative charge is available on the p-type semiconductors, and hole is made in p-type semiconductor. Here one hole is formed here, and another aluminium atom, and here one hole is also formed, here one hole is also formed, here one hole is also formed. So in p-type semiconductors the hole is maximum and the number of electrons are minimum, because in p-type semiconductors the concentration of holes are maximum and electrons are minimum. So here in p-type semiconductors the hole are in maximum number and the electrons are in minimum number. We represent the p-type semiconductors by this symbol. This is the symbol of p-type semiconductor in which static negative charge is available. This is hole. This is electrons. In this type semiconductor, holes are more than electrons. In this diagram, there are 9 holes: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and 4 electrons. These 3 and this is 4. So this is the symbol of p-type semiconductor. The another semiconductor is n-type semiconductor. N-type semiconductor. In n-type semiconductors, if we add the pentavalent, impurities in the pure semiconductors, then it is called n-type semiconductor. Means if we add a pentavalent or a atom that have valency of 5 is added in the pure semiconductors, that are silicon and germanium. So then the pure semiconductor convert into n-type semiconductors. And here the difference between p-type semiconductor and n-type semiconductor is that if we added trivalent impurities, then p-type semiconductors are formed, and if we added pentavalent impurities, then the n-type semiconductors are formed. So here the examples of pentavalent atoms, or a atom that have the valency of 5 electrons, are phosphorus, that is represented by P, arsenic, As, etc. These are the examples of pentavalent atoms. So let's consider we have a phosphorus atom that is connected with a germanium atom. Here that is a germanium atom. This is the electron of germanium and this is the electron of phosphorus. Here the another germanium atom is connected with phosphorus atom, and this side a another germanium atom is connected with the phosphorus atom. In this side a another germanium atom is connected with the phosphorus atom. In all sides one germanium electron is connected with one electron of phosphorus and make a bond. This is the bond between phosphorus and germanium. This is the bond between phosphorus and germanium. This is the bond between phosphorus and germanium, and this is the bond between phosphorus and germanium. Here the free electrons, the number of free electrons for phosphorus is 5, and in 5 electrons 4 electrons are connected with germanium, and at phosphorus 1 electron left. So here 1 electron is left, that is free electron. So phosphorus atom want to donate the free electron, that is 1. So it is a priority to donate. So here the static positive charge is available on the n-type semiconductor. Here static positive charge available, and at p-type static negative charge is available. So here the first phosphorus atom, and here second phosphorus atom, here third phosphorus atom, and here fourth phosphorus atom are connected to the germanium, and here 1 electron is free, here also 1 electron, here also 1 electron, and here also 1 electron are free. So in p-type semiconductors the number of free electrons are more than number of holes. So in p-type semiconductors the free electrons are maximum, and in p-type semiconductors the number of free holes are maximum. So in p-type semiconductors holes are maximum, and in n-type semiconductors electrons are maximum. If we represent the symbol of n-type semiconductor, then here this is static positive charge. This is electrons and this is holes. In n-type semiconductors the number of electrons are maximum and number of holes are minimum. So here number of electrons are maximum and number of holes are minimum, and static positive charge is available. This is the symbol of n-type semiconductor, and this is the symbol of p-type semiconductor. In our next class we study about electricity flow in semiconductors. So today our class is closed, and in our next class we study about the electricity flow in p-type semiconductors, electricity flowing, n type semiconductors, PN junction, and next PN junction diode. Thank you.